Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Nyesha Stone, and we're back with Carvd podcast, where our positive news articles come to life. And every Tuesday, I'm interviewing somebody around the world about positive news. And, we started in Milwaukee, so I'm always going to probably bring somebody from Milwaukee every few episodes and every few articles. So today, we back doing our usual guest. Last episode, we were celebrating our 6-year anniversary. We still celebrating. But if y'all new to the podcast, we are an online media company that covers positive news. We're local in Milwaukee and also Atlanta. We started off with online articles and now we do video interviews. You're listening to our podcast. We also have a radio segment. And then how we make money, people always want to know about that. We provide public relations and communication services. So if you're ever needing help with connecting to the media, make sure to hit us up at carvdandstone.com. So now I got our little plug in. Let's really get into the conversation. So today we have a guest who's already on Carvd and Stone, and he is using the pictures that we took of him everywhere. And I love it because they look wonderful.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I hear him. All right. So Mwanje Thompson is the president and CEO of Moguls Media, which is a podcast network. And it's also all about empowering Black and brown people to use Web3 technology and all to tell their own stories. So what's up?
Hey, what's going on? I got to give you, first of all, I give you your props. Congratulations on 6 years. That is amazing. I got my little button over here. I don't know if you want some laughter and some hand claps and applause.
Oh yeah, see, yes.
Okay, let me go ahead. See, we didn't know that. We didn't know we was gonna do that, but let's go ahead and do that. There we go. I don't know if you can hear that. You can't hear it? It was there though. It was there.
That's cool. I heard it. I know it was there. But if y'all didn't know, we're here to talk about podcasting because Mwanje, he actually helped me start my podcast. He helped me get the microphone that I'm speaking into right now. He helped me pick some other equipment for Carvd and Stone to help us with our visuals and our audio. So that's what his whole business is built upon. So can we just kind of start off with, why interest in podcasts though? Like, especially since there are a billion podcasts out nowadays, and I'm adding on to those billion podcasts. But what is it about podcasting that caught your interest, and how do you kind of create a good podcast?
Yeah, great question. So my podcast, so I started in 2016. We're running into like 7 years now, which is crazy. We're almost in like 300 episodes in. I think we're in like 270s right now. But it really started with just a phone call to one of my friends. I was like, yo, I've been listening to Charlemagne, Brilliant Idiots, Angela Yee, Lip Service, the Casey Crew with DJ Envy, and then so many other podcasts. And I was like, I think we can do this. And I called my two co-hosts, Reese and Lassie, and I didn't know Lassie at the time, but they were at Best Buy and they got a microphone of a USB mic, Snowball USB mic from Best Buy. Won't forget it. And we just did a podcast. We just did it. And after a while, and no pun intended, but it did snowball into something really, really cool. And people were like wanting to be on the show. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, folks want to talk to us. And so, and I started to find like podcasting got me into so many different industries in Milwaukee. Like, it was the rap scene. The Milwaukee rappers and artists wanted to get on our podcast and showcase their music. And I met so many rappers and musicians and artists based off a podcast. So I found it as a tool to really network and really uplift not only just our voices, but voices of other artists, especially here in Milwaukee. And so that's when I started to say, you know what, maybe this could be an actual business of uplifting Black and brown voices. And so after we kind of did our podcast, I decided to go ahead and say, you know what, let me start, recording podcasts. And my first podcast was that I recorded was called Such an Effort Lady with Crystal and Jennifer. And they were two women. They were one was a lawyer, one is a lawyer, and one is a life coach. And their podcast was just about them being women in the city of Milwaukee and living their lives. And now, they did 50 episodes, but now one of them is married. One of them has a baby. And it's just like, it's so funny how to see them from 2016 to now. And I wish I could still record them. I always call them and say, yo, I think y'all need to start the podcast back up. But it was just a great opportunity just to really uplift voices and just really network. It's really a great networking tool. Because I see you, you got Donald Driver. You are killing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a really great opportunity to network. So that's what I love about podcasting. Another question you had asked, though, what makes a great podcast? For me, it's consistency and sound quality. more so consistency than sound quality, because you can work on that. But consistency is something that is truly, truly important. You say every Tuesday. I love that you say that, because now folks know that every Tuesday, they can expect your podcast. And
You
I
taught
think
me
that's
that.
yeah. And I say that all the time, because it's like a TV show. That I know that certain shows, let's say we know that Insecure, when it was coming on, it came on every Sunday. We knew that. We were expecting that. Same thing with, you go back in the day, I don't remember when it came on, but when Will Smith came on, when Martin came on, when all our favorite television shows came on. And your podcast is a show. Sometimes I tell folks not to say podcast, maybe say show or program, but it is a show. And you have to let them know that, hey, my show comes on every Tuesday, and drop it. And when you miss that Tuesday, people will be calling you, like, or hitting you up and saying, where's the show? Where's the episode? I need that in my life. You never know what your show can do for other people. Some people listen to your show while they're in the car, while they are working out, while they're cleaning up. And so you not dropping that show in that time that they need it, then you kind of messing up their lives as well too. Now they upset, hitting you, like, giving you bad reviews because you ain't dropping your show on the time you're supposed to drop it. But yeah, consistency and sound quality is important. But like I said, consistency is probably the main thing you want to really focus on to get a great podcast. Content and all that other stuff, that'll come as well too. You can work on that. Like I said, I love your content because you have a great niche of positive news. And but like I said, you can work on that stuff, but consistency is key.
Y'all listening, I really learned from him. So when I interviewed him for his article, for a Carvd Stone article, we were talking about audio moguls. And I remember just him telling me, he was like, if you gonna do it on this day at this time or whatever, you better do it every time. So if you say you're gonna do bi-monthly, you better do bi-monthly. And I was listening to that, and I was like, you know what? That's a big part of Carvd Stone, because we intentionally put weekly in our tagline, your weekly source of positive news, because if people didn't know, this news comes out every single day, and you kind of get tired of news. So I made sure to specifically say weekly, so people we don't release an article every single day. It gives you time to actually be able to really get yourself involved in our content, because we have so much, the videos, the articles, and all that stuff. And if you're posting all the time, and I feel like sometimes it's too much content a lot of times. And so but just connecting that back to consistency, and that's been something different for me with this podcast, because every Tuesday I have to come out with the episode. So now I'm thinking, okay, we're in season 1. How long do I want season 1 to go to? Because I don't want it to go a whole year. When do I want season 2 to start? And then what does that look like? Are we going to keep it on the Tuesdays? Are we going, whatever that looks like. But it's definitely been a challenge keeping the consistency on a weekly basis, same day, and making sure that all the content is basically the same. So like you said, when people do come to the podcast, no matter if it's on Apple or Spotify, they're used to, it says this is exactly in the title. I know what I'm looking for. I know this the bio, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so going back to podcasting, y'all can't see right now, but when I do post a video, you could tell, he runs a show, like from the headphones to the microphone that he's using, and then also in his voice, the power in his voice. Like, you are meant to do this. So what have you learned about?
Thank you.
No problem. A big part of your business is teaching other businesses or helping other businesses start podcasts or just overall storytelling. So what have you learned about how to teach others, or just be there as an assistant, or however you want to word it, when it comes to, helping other businesses when it comes to their storytelling?
So I'll give you a great example. So one of the podcasts that are on my network is Woman in the Mirror podcast. It's a faith-based podcast. It's my first lady from my church, and then one of my church members, and so their podcast is really about just uplifting women through the power of Christ, and really just really giving that uplifting word and what have you. And so when they first started, they were so nervous. Like, I was like, what you nervous for? They were like, we're turning on a microphone, and so I think part of my job as a podcast network and part leader of a podcast network, CEO, president, whatever you want to call me, I like to call myself a servant, because I'm serving my podcast. When I come in, I'm not just turning on the mics and let folks talk. I'm really giving them confidence. I'm really giving them guidance. Like, and I just looking at their show, because they started their show last year, I want to say around October, maybe probably a little bit before that, because every year she does the Woman in the Mirror conference, and where women get together, and this is really powerful, great movement. It's really fun. And I got my chance to actually go to it this year because they did a live podcast show. So I finally got a chance to see behind the scenes, and they really do their thing. It's all women just coming together, having a great time. And but just from them, it's really building their confidence. I have another show called On What Though, which is a sports podcast. With them, it's a little different. Like they come in, they know what they want to talk about, and I can just turn the mics on with them. And then, they have their different different buttons and things like that on the show. So it really is just really serving the podcast and their needs. Same thing with Devin with Share the Vibes, his podcast. I'm his co-host. I wasn't looking to be on his show, but he was like, hey, let's rock this thing together. And like, so he's getting these guests on, and I'm making sure that I'm dropping the episodes for him when he needs it, making sure everything's all good. So I'm seeing that I have to be a servant to these podcasts, and this really has stepped my game up, because now I'm always looking for ways to better the network, looking for ways to get them money, get them advertisements and things like that, sponsorship. So running a network is not hard, because I'm also a full-time teacher as well. It is hard, excuse me, because I'm a full-time teacher as well too. So and I'm teaching kids how to do this too. So like I'm doing this in real time, which this is why I love teaching, because it's like, hey, yo, I'm not just telling you what to do, I'm actually doing it. And so it's been a journey. It's fun. And it really is fulfilling to see folks find confidence in their own show. Like now when I go into the Woman in the Mirror podcast, like they're ready to go. They're telling me like, Jay, turn on the mics. Let's go. We ready. And it feels so good, and it's so empowering to see folks come into their own voices, come into their own stories. And, and I selfishly like to say I have a part in that, but honestly, I'm just happy to be there to serve. And so it's really been a humbling experience. And it's really been a fun experience. And I take on now folks are coming in asking me to be a podcast consultant. I'm like, what is that? I'll do it though for the money. But right, you know what I'm saying? So but it's really been an honor to really serve the podcast that I have. And even for you, like it was an honor for you even asking me, like, and also I want to, from another aside, real quick, I want to say thank you once again, because I want to do this on this podcast so the whole world can hear. Thank you for this article that you gave me, because with this article, I'm gonna tell you though, after your article, that's how I got a TMJ4 news thing like right after that, because they saw your article. And so I want to tell you now, whatever you need from me, I got you. So I want to say that, so all the folks that's listening to this podcast can hold me accountable, because they be like, they be like, Nyesha, you heard him say that. So if he tells you no, it's on the podcast. But I want to thank you for that too. But like I said, it's an honor even for you to come and ask me about podcasting, excuse me. And so it's just really, honestly, it's truly an honor to serve all the podcasters, not only on my network, but folks that just reaching out and asking for help. And I truly enjoy it. So when you said that earlier about, this is meant for you, that you built for this in a way, I'm like, wow, that was real humbling to hear. And I appreciate that.
Oh, he got me over here smiling like an idiot, but people always see me smiling like this. My mom was just making fun of me. She was like, yo, smile, man. She's like, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Absolutely. We need more positivity and smiles in this world, because folks is going crazy right now.
Oh, they're going crazy. But no, thank you, like, for real. Like, I really appreciate the kind words. Again, if y'all listening, we on Carvd Stone podcast. My name is Nyesha Stone, Mwanje Thompson with Audio Moguls Media, and make sure y'all hit them up for podcast consulting. So recently you were partnering with Social X, and they held what was it? Immense Wellness, I believe.
Wellness. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
And it was I don't want to butcher it, but it was like a mental health like panel, or just like an event for Black men, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. You spot on. Yep.
Perfect. So like, how did you get a part of that? And how does mental health, or what you do with your business, like how did you connect that? Why did you participate in an event?
Once again, like I said, when I tell you, when people come and reach out to me, I am truly, I'm in my season right now being super grateful and gratitude. I have an actual journal right here. I'll pull it up here because I know we on video, but it's a prayer journal. You probably can't see. Yeah, it's a prayer journal. But this journal, I've been writing like not only just my prayers, but my gratitude and just being thankful for everything that's been coming my way. So Renell reached out to me in this, I want to say December-ish, top of December. And he's like, hey, bro, I'm doing this thing and I want you to moderate it. I'm like, me? You know what I'm saying? Like, me for real? So it was just an honor. So he just kind of told me like, this is what we're doing. Because the women, I believe, Tania, if I'm saying your name correctly, I apologize. Incorrectly, I apologize. But the women on Social X already had their own thing. And of course, men, we gotta pull teeth, as Renell said, and we gotta drag us to come out. And so we had this event and it was amazing. About 70 men came out, and Renell had me to do the fireside chat, to moderate it. And the stories that were told was amazing. And if I can be forward and just tell you like one quick story, Jakeem, who is working for the Bucks right now, he's from Dallas, and he was telling a story about when he was in Dallas and he got a job, and the job fired him in 6 hours. Like he just, I mean, I laughed and joked with him, but I'm like, bro, did you even get your email? Like your fob? Like, did you even like log in and get all your credentials and stuff? And he was just saying like how that was mentally draining for him. And stories like that need to be told, especially from other men, because we're told to, work and make ends meet. Another person on there, shout out to Izzy, he talked about how he had this business, and right after COVID, like everything went down, and he even said it himself, like he thought that was the end. He thought it was over. And now he's, paying back his creditors and things like that. But those conversations needed to be talked about, because we don't have a space for us to do that. And so Immense Wellness was a great opportunity. There were 4 sessions, I think 6 sections, that the 2 I went to, what I loved the most, shout out to Linnell, I believe if his name is.
Yep.
He had
Linnell Ramey.
okay, yeah. Yeah, yes, yep, Linnell Ramey. So he had a session called Imposter Syndrome, and it was so dope to hear him. And it was funny because I had to come after him, and I was saying to myself, like, this dude is cold, like the way he's speaking and talking. But even he said it himself. He's like, I have imposter syndrome. I just did this symposium with the Bucks, and I other people tell me I crushed it. But he was like, I feel like I didn't do a great job. And I'm like, what? You had Bobby Portis there. You had so many great people there, and you tell me you didn't crush it? But those are things we need to hear, because as men, we feel that way, and so many men could relate. So I think this was the first one. And I think this is going to be an annual thing. And shout out to Social X, shout out to Renell. And once again, Renell reached out to me out the blue. I wasn't even expecting it. And he was like, bro, I want you to do this. And when I tell you, he was supportive all along the way. He made sure I got my notes out, made sure I did all this stuff like that. And that's the brother right there, for real. That is genuine and true. And once again, I thank him for that. But that it was a great opportunity. And I look forward. If he wants me to moderate, whatever he needs, I got him. So if he wants me to moderate again, I'm here. Or just show up to the show. And we were at the direct supply building on the Industrial Parkway, and it was amazing. It was a beautiful space, and I think we just had a wonderful time with all those men there, and we ate good, and we just learned a lot. So it was dope. I had a great time.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And to the listeners, I hope y'all don't think it's random why I brought that up, but although we are talking about podcasting, I think it's very important that we do focus on real life. Yeah. And a lot of times, like, for example, I am in my older brother's room, in town, with him, and we got a lot of stuff going downstairs. Like, there are a lot of things that could be going on in the background that we don't always necessarily talk about. We were just supposed to put on this professional face and just keep it going. Yep. So I think it's important for us to highlight, those events or those topics such as mental health, and especially for Black men, because we love y'all. I love y'all. This is a Black woman saying we love y'all. Like, I love my daddy, I love my brothers and all. Like, love us back. I know y'all do, but love us a little bit harder. Love us Black women a little bit harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, definitely. So let's keep this conversation going. Like, yeah. I really enjoy talking to you though, because like I've learned a lot from you when it comes from podcasting. I kind of want to talk about, we talked about a little bit beforehand when we were doing the article, but Web3. So again, I know a little bit about it. You did describe it more. But why is it important that you're teaching Black and brown people about Web3. And I know, and can you talk about a little bit about the Milky Way Tech Hub and, you know, your partnership and working with Nadia Johnson? Shout out to her. But yeah, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Web3, I think, is our opportunity to build generational wealth and take on the helm of building generational wealth and helping to close the wealth gap, because we miss so many trains that left us. Like we miss, we're starting to get on the train. A lot of us, like the financial train, you know, stocks and bonds and stuff like that wasn't really talked about until now. It was like maybe within the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic. Shout out to EYL, because they're the ones that's taking the helm on talking about that. And so, you know, that now we're kind of catching that train, but we're always playing catch up. And so Web3 is now this thing that's coming out, and it's still brand new. It's still, you can hop on this train because this train is still docked, and it's all aboard right now. And so I'm trying to make sure I bring my people on a board, us on a board, and say, and brown folks as well too, to say, come on, we need to get on this train. So just real quick, Web3 is basically user generated content where you control that content. Web2 is your Facebook, your Instagram, your Snapchats, all these different platforms, your TikToks. They would not exist without your data, without your information. So without you doing your dances and your music and all this stuff like that, they wouldn't exist. Think about it. They are just a tool for us to utilize our talents and abilities. And how much should we get paid from it? Not 9 times out of 10, if you're not a big creator, you're only getting pennies. Same thing with the music industry as well too. You know, I've gotten streams. I look at my ASCAP account from songs that I did. I only get paid $1 a quarter. I'm like, man. Well, of course, I'm not a big artist and I'm streaming that much, but even then, like, Spotify only pays you like 0.006%. So with Web3 technology, this is an opportunity for you to take control of your data, and really take control of your talent. So, like, for instance, a great example is NFTs. NFTs is more than just the bored monkeys and the apes and whatever you want to look at it and all the stuff like that. It's really a tool to build community with. So an example of how we're doing it is I'm working with a podcast called Black Butterfly Experience, and it's a podcast about mental health, Black mental health. And the host is a clinician, and it's therapist, and she has abundant experience of working with poor and disenfranchised communities in their mental health. And so she created this podcast to destigmatize mental health and also give you the resources. What the NFT is going to do is it's going to be a butterfly, and you can buy this NFT, and it's going to give you opportunities to get resources from all over the city, and then hopefully, if it gets big enough, all over the world. But you can buy this NFT and you'll be able to use this NFT. So it's really your opportunity to buy into the podcast. And in return, you're going to get a wealth of knowledge and resources for a small amount. Whereas, if you don't have insurance, that could be thousands of dollars. So using this Web3 technology, it gives people an opportunity to create a ticketing system. Let's say for my artists out there, if you have an album that you just drop an NFT with it as well, or turn your album art into an NFT. Have your favorite fans buy that NFT, and then when you do your tour, you can say, "Oh, who are my fans that have bought my whatever album it is?" Right? They can go backstage and show you that. Now they can go backstage with you. Those are the fans that you can rock with, and then you have the blockchain that allows you to see who's been fans since day one. And maybe you can do something special for them. So if they've been buying your NFT from day one, and then now you at Coachella, hey, my fans that's been with me for day one, y'all get to rock with me on stage at Coachella. And because of this NFT thing, and then also they're buying into your music, this is another way to give them royalties. I know there's an app, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but Nas with King Disease 2, I believe. If you bought the NFT for King Disease 2, depending on what tier of NFT you bought, you are able to get royalties from that album, because you bought into the NFT. So it's just really cool, unique ways that you can use it besides just the Bored Apes and the monkeys. You can really do some tangible things with it. And I want folks like us to kind of use that technology and learn how to use that technology for the betterment of our community. We can do that and really build some wealth and really build wealth within our community as well too. So that's really the goal of using Web3 technology. And you don't need to know a lot to do it. It's real simple to use.
That was my question, is because like, you know, I hear a lot about like you should be making NFTs, right? But then it's just like, okay, do you go on a computer and it's like making a graphic? Is that literally what it is?
Yeah.
Or is it like, can anything be an NFT?
Yep.
I guess I just kind of like, so for example, if Carvd Stone made an article, is there a way to turn that into an NFT? And like, how does that work? So all these questions, make sure y'all go pay him so he can teach you how to do this.
Yeah. You know, I call him my OG, but his name's Christopher Perceptions. I think you are you familiar with Christopher? Yeah. So he has a class on Udemy. It's like a 20-minute class. It's really a video, and he shows you how to mint the NFT on OpenSea. And it's real simple. Like you said, just take a graphic, go on the OpenSea, make sure you have a Ethereum wallet. The best wallet to get is called, and I have it on my thing here. It is,
and the wallets are where you keep like the NFTs and like the like, let's say like maybe even a Bitcoin or something like that.
Yep. So this particular wallet is for the Ethereum, and this wallet is called MetaMask. MetaMask. If you're listening right now, just go to metamask.com, and it's free to get a wallet. It's free, and it'll be on your browser, and yeah, you just get it, and then you buy Ethereum. You can buy Ethereum in so many different ways. You can buy it from Coinbase. You can buy it from, I think, Robinhood now lets you buy Ethereum and actually have a wallet with that. So you buy the Ethereum money or crypto, and you put it in your wallet, and then you go to OpenSea. .io, OpenCSEA.io, and you'll be able to open up an account, and you can just go in there and peruse and see what folks are doing. And people are doing some really cool things. Yes, they got some art out there. Now this Web3 thing has been so crazy. AI art. You don't even have to be an artist now. You can just type in what you want, what you want to draw, and it will come up for you. And you can just use that and mint that. And now you can actually be an artist without being an artist. If you know how to type, and if you're a person that knows how to be descriptive and really say what you need to say, and know how to say things and write things out, which you don't even have to do that now because they have Chat PT, where you can just tell Chat PT, like,
that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have I'm in. As an artist, as a person that love art and music and such, you know, there's soul into it, right? So yes, it kind of sucks the soul out of it because there are so many great artists. Like I see, I'm looking at your paintings right now. I don't know if you did that or your brother.
And my
did
brother,
that.
Rodell Johnson.
Yeah, so like he did that, and he took his time, and he saw that, and I think that's just divine to pull something out of nowhere and come up with some art. But people can, you know, type out that description, and they can have something sort of similar to that, and they could be artists now. So there's really no way for you to say like, oh, there's no money to be made out here. There's so many different tools that I'm learning every day. I'm like, yo, I can really add this as a revenue stream. But it's just sitting down, having a conversation with each other and say, hey, here's what we can do, and really bringing your community together and really making money out of it. So there's so many different cool things you can do with Web3 technology and AI art and AI, all this type of stuff. So yeah, just Google. If you just Google it, it's there. But if you want to, just hit me up, and I'll be more than happy to have some time and just tell you what I know, because I'm always willing to share information because I want to see us succeed.
Y'all heard him. Carvd Stone podcast. Nyesha Stone, Mwanje Thompson.
Absolutely.
Right. So I got a few more questions. Always say that, you know, we be running out of time. The conversations be going so well. So you're from, you know, Milwaukee. Where would you like to see the city go when it comes to specifically storytelling and about the Black community? Whether that's with podcasting, whether that's articles, whether that's like broadcast or whatever that may be. Like, where do you want to see that go, and how do you want that story told?
Yeah, I want Milwaukee to be known as and I not hate to use this comparison, but I always say this comparison. Milwaukee can easily be the Atlanta of the North. Why? Because we have a nice Black population here, and brown population, and we if we support each other more, I think that we could truly be a place where people want to stay. I did a real quick. I did a podcast with Share the Vibes, and this is no shade at all, but we interviewed Hyphen. That's gonna come out real soon, and so I noticed that everybody from Hyphen wasn't there. Like, for instance, Tariq Moody. But I want to give him props because he came into Milwaukee and saw all the things that Milwaukee needed to do. And so there are people coming into the city of Milwaukee, coming from different places like Chicago, Detroit, and all these other places where they're taking their wealth of knowledge and they're helping build Milwaukee up. And I don't shun those folks away because we need that help. And so we need more folks to come in. We need our own people to come in. And when I say own people, I mean Milwaukee, folks from Milwaukee that are born and raised here to work together and build each other up. And I think that's happening now. I really do see that. We still got some more time to go. But I do see that there are places and people that are working together to really build Milwaukee up. And then I want to be able to say, I want to be able to share that story. I want to be able to talk to you. I want to be able to talk to Ambition Center. I want to be able to talk to so many different other places that are building each other up and say, these people are people that have stayed and really became a pillar in the city of Milwaukee. And we can tell our own stories by having our own podcast network. And I'm just all about helping other folks. Like if you are Black or Brown, podcast network, media company, whatever, how can I help you? What can we do to truly really cultivate Milwaukee and make it a place where folks don't leave but stay, and then have your LAs and your Chicagos and your New Yorks come here for, I don't know, a BET Awards or for the Grammys or for All-Star Weekend or for whatever, and they don't feel afraid because they're, when even during the basketball run that we had, the NBA championship in 2021, people like, oh, it's a small market, small time Milwaukee, small time this. Man, I just heard that Bobby Portis loves Milwaukee, and people like him that just champion our city and champion Black and brown businesses and Black owned businesses. We need folks like that, and we need to have that for ourselves. And that will be the story to tell for the city of Milwaukee, that, hey, we love our city so much that we grew it to a place where folks want to come, want to stay here, want to work here, and want to just raise a family here and be loved and love on each other. And that's the story I can't wait to tell. I'll be super excited to tell that story. Because trust me, I want to go down to Atlanta too. I want to be down there because I love Atlanta. Atlanta be popping. Trust me. When I was growing up, and we went down there to see my cousins and stuff like that. I'm like, it's Black people here doing well. Houses out the wild, mansions doing great. And it's like, man, I want to be here. But why can't we have that in Milwaukee? And that's the story I want to tell.
I love it. And we're gonna get there. We definitely gonna get there. It's gonna take us some time. I want to get to the point where people know that Black people are in Milwaukee. They be like, is Black people there? And I'd be like, in Milwaukee, not really Wisconsin. And so
right. Right. Exactly.
With the last question I have, and you know what it is, when people listen to this interview, what do you want them to get from it?
I want folks to work together, share your knowledge, share your wealth, and share, just share, work together, build community. Community is so huge. I talk to my grandparents all the time, and they said back in the day, you can go to your neighbor next door and borrow some eggs and some sugar. They'll watch your kids for you. They'll do all these different things. Community was such an important way of growing up. Now we don't have that as much. So I should be able to go to Carvd and Stone and be able to, say, hey, can you drop this article for me? Or vice versa. Hey, can you do this podcast for me? I should be able to go to, wherever medium that I need to go to and work with them and be able to, exchange, pay for their services, obviously, right? You want to do that because we need to pay the money in Black communities just go out the wazoo. I think it don't even stay in our community more than 3 hours, I think it is. And that's a shame. So we first of all pay for our services, pay for each other's services. And not only that, just build each other up. Hey, if Carvd and Stone, Nyesha, if you see something I'm not doing right, or I should be doing better, hey, tap me on the shoulder. Hey, nah, that's not how you move. Or, hey, you could do this a little bit better. And I know somebody who could. And like you said, I've been, y'all been my headshots for the past 7 months now. Like,
ain't nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point.
Exactly, man. I mean, I've been giving it to everybody. Shoot, I gave it to you. So,
I looked at it. I was like, wait a minute, we did take pictures.
Did we do this? And I'm like, yes, y'all did, and it was great. I had a great time. That laugh, like I said, you're a photographer. What's her name? I'll shout out to her. I can't think of her name right now. Leah. Shout out to Leah. She was, man, when I tell you, I was over there like, yo, she doing her job. She got me over here laughing and joking, having conversations and warming up to me. I'm like, man, she cold at this. But that's the thing. It's like, really, I want folks to build community and work with each other and help each other out. That is the goal. That's how we grow. That's how our city becomes the amazing city that it is. Let's get money together. Let's buy property together. Let's do all the things that we can together to take our city back and really make our city an incredible city that we know that it can become. And I know we can do it. I know we can do it. I get happy when I see Black folks doing great things, brown folks doing great things. I love it. I love it. And I'm super excited for where Milwaukee's going to go. So let's work together, y'all. Let's build community.
We all know what Issa Rae said. I'm not going to repeat it because it's so iconic, and we all know what she said. And nobody can say it better than her.
She said it. Nope. But, you're right about that.
This is the end of the Carvd Stone podcast. Just this episode on Mwanje Thompson of Audio Moguls Media. If y'all ever looking for some podcasting, whether it's consulting, how to build it out, Web3 development, please look him up. Visit carvdstone.com. We have an article there so you can connect with him. My name is Nyesha Stone, and make sure to visit us every Tuesday after this as I interview different people around the world about positive things in their life. And remember, in the end, everything will be carved in stone.
Hey.